All right, session 12 of level 2. Here we are. In last session, 11, we talked about tools. Check those out, print those PDFs, share them, practice them with your clients in the office, or if you're meeting them on Zoom, and then have them do that as homework at home. So that's all great, good information, Corey, but what do we deal with resistance? And that's what we're going to talk about here in this session, is dealing with resistance. And from the get-go, from the minute I meet them to first consultation session, sometimes before we get started, sometimes towards the end, these are some lines, or what I call Coreyisms. You all have your lines that you've developed over the years working with people, and you use them when it's appropriate. So you've heard these first few before. When I get started in the consultation, don't believe anything I say to you. Don't believe anything Corey says. Seek the truth for yourself. I'm not your savior. I'm not your guru. And I want people to think for themselves. I do not want to be codependent with them and them with me. I want them to begin to self-regulate from the inside out. Okay. And so I model that from the get-go. Some other lines that I use, and during the consultation or during our intensives, there are different times to use these. You do not have to like me, but you will get better if you do the work. You will get out of this what you put into it. People often ask how successful our program is, and I say, well, if you give 100%, you got a 100% chance of making it. If you give 10, you got about a 10% chance of making it. If one of you gives me 90%, the other 30%, you maybe got a 40% chance of making it. Okay, I'm not on your side or her side or your partner's side or his side. I'm on the side of sanity. Okay. And what you are doing is insane. Okay. So I will not be part of your sick system. Freedom is not free. You will have to fight for it. Your emotions are real, but not always reality. Okay. Talked about that in the quantum stuff. Not every negative emotion or negative thought you have is true or real or accurate. Say what you mean what you say. Talk to couples about this. Your partner's anger shows that they still care and they love you. Okay. Apathy, when there's apathy, one is apathetic, it shows war is coming, maybe divorce, separation. Okay. Apathy, I don't care. Silence is violence. So in anorexics, the man or the woman, the one who is the anorexic, I teach them about your silence is violence, feels like violence towards your partner. Okay. 19, believe behavior, not their words. We've talked about that. You get what you pay for. Okay. Clients are looking for value. I've learned it's not necessarily about the money. Usually it's not about the money, it's about the value. Okay. They got to decide if it has value to them. Okay. We at our practice, I always say we are a custom home builder. We are not a track home builder. We are not generalized. We're very, very specialized. So after the consultation, I generally say, you are our ideal client who we work with, and give treatment recommendations. Okay. Then they can decide from there. With clients, not such our ideal client, you refer them on, they often will make that decision on themselves, for themselves too. Okay. So we're going to talk about dealing with resistance, first for the women, then the men. This is from my amazing wife's book, Ashes to Beauty. So these are roles women play. This first part, we're talking about pre-disclosure. So before disclosure has happened, and the husband's or the man's acting out, generally, and her finding out. Okay. So this is what's called the roommate, the individual who simply lives in the same household with their partner. They may share the same Home, finances, bed, basic needs, common interests, but have no or there is no intimacy. Okay. Number two, the housekeeper, office manager. This person, again, we're talking about the women, individual who serves as a roommate, but also in carrying the for the physical needs of the partner, like laundry, cleaning, cooking, paying bills, raising the kids. Number three, the love addict or anxious. They seek and pursue their partner to try to maintain a romantic relationship, generally needing, controlling, demanding in an attempt to avoid rejection and abandonment. Okay. And that ties into the anxious avoidant attachment theory material. So the anorexic obviously is the avoidant or the dismissive one. Again, this is pre-disclosure roles women play. This individual meets criteria for intimacy anorexia or an avoidant attachment style. Very independent, walled off, freeze or flight, as the CPTSD book by Pete Walker explains. Check it out. All right. Now, this is post disclosure. So after the female partner finds out. Okay. They may play the role of the abuser. Okay, and they may play more than one of these roles and may play a role for a period of time. Okay. This usually comes from a place of hopelessness in the relationship with the addict. They may be manipulative, emotionally, verbally, physically, or sexually abusive or shaming in an effort to regain a sense of control. Number two, the accountability partner sponsor. This person keeps tabs on their partner. They may check their partner's cell phone history and locations, internet, social media, email history, credit and card transactions, etc. Okay, we don't recommend the partner ever be the sponsor. Can I work with this with the couple? She's going to find her own female sponsor. He's going to find his own male sponsor groups, etc. The appeaser is a person who shuttles diplomatically between family members, refereeing and soothing feathers. Okay. And very codependent, really, is what it is, codependency. The avenger prosecutor is a person who desires to punish or wound their partner in the same way the wound has been inflicted upon them. See that a lot. The codependent friend, enabler partner who makes excuses for the behavior of the addicted partner. Number six, the flirt enjoys playfully chatting and leading on another individual sexually without any serious intentions to create jealousy or pain for their partner. Number seven, the hero or the rescuer displays exceptional courage, nobility, and strength to help rescue the addict from themselves and keeping the addict's secrets from others. Okay. And this is related to the double life. So when couples live in that double life, the he secret becomes the she secret or the we secret. Now one isn't sick, now they're both sick. Okay. Continuing on here on post-disclosure roles, women play. The judge or jury is constantly measuring the worth and the quality of their partner with no extension of grace or mercy. Number nine, the lost child fades into the background, escaping their pain slightly by living in a fantasy world, or I should say silently living in a fantasy world, oftentimes isolated and lonely. Number 10, the mascot cheers the hurting family members by using jokes or humor to divert attention from the problem. Okay. The mother, the dictator, overtly parents and oversees the actions of their partner with approval or disapproval, making them feel inadequate. Okay. Mother, dictator. And there's longer explanations to these. These are just highlights. Okay. Check out the book Ashes to Beauty for greater details. The princess, they live in a place of fantasy, being married to Prince Charming, living in denial, never seem to understand, and would rather not know the seriousness of their partner's addiction. See that too. Yep. 13, the sex object desires to bring sexual gratification to their partner in unhealthy ways, primarily through visual stimulation or inappropriate, unrealistic behaviors. to their outer beauty rather than love them as a person. I see this a lot. So, couples get hypersexual after disclosure. She's trying to prove or control, try to seduce, be that object she thinks he wants. And it's usually only lasts for a period of time and generally burns out because it's really not about her and her being desirable or sexy or more pretty. It's his stuff and he needs to work on. The student begins to research all there is to know about their partner's sexually addictive behaviors. They remain functional and useful, but at a price of not healing themselves. So this is a big one. I call it the why. There's a blog I've done called The Why. I think some female partners can get addicted to the why. Why is he this way? Why does he do this? How did this happen? Where did this come from? And we work with the partners on asking other questions. How did I get here? Who am I? Where am I going? Where have I been? Okay. I have never found the women will never find an answer that satisfies the why. 15, the savior lives through affliction, carries on despite hardships and trauma in their life, but miss out on opportunities for emotional and spiritual growth. The therapist tries to counsel their partner and promote recovery, not adequately trained or qualified to do the job, nor are they able to separate themselves from the situation and view it objectively. Okay. Therapist, same as kind of the sponsor. Don't recommend that. The victim, scapegoat, martyr, believes they are the unfortunate person who has been harmed or made to suffer by the acts of their partner. Sympathy is gained from others, but healing is delayed for themselves. And this ties into the betrayal trauma model, okay? The victim cycle stuff that we've covered, okay? It doesn't work. It keeps them stuck. All right, so continuing on here, dealing with resistance, roles men play. This is from my book, Out of the Darkness. And so many men flee or run, often afraid and mastered by their emotions of fear, shame, rejection, abandonment, sadness. Before and after disclosure, some men run or abandon their wife or partner, and they are selfish, use justification, rationalization, minimization, and blame to justify leaving their partner. Without doing so, they could not live with themselves, okay, with a clear conscience. Just the IA, the blaming the victim stuff just heightens all the more. Married boys, I call this next one, they stay in their sick, anorexic, or avoidance system. They do not know how or want to grow their emotional vocabulary or do the work. They do not want to protect or fight for their partner. Behavior shows they want to protect their addiction or addictions. They do not want to grow up, but stay little boys to be taken care of, wanting the old system to stay intact. Next is the honeymoon period. Some will do the recovery work very well. However, they are not motivated for very long. For a period of 30 to 60 days, they will change and do the work, then return to their old habits and behaviors. They are only doing recovery because they have to, not necessarily because they want to. All right, next, other continuing roles men play. They can become controlling and manipulative or use manipulation. These men are calculated and manipulative in what they do and do not say. They control and manipulate the recovery process, their partner, groups, and the clinician or helper. These men often suffer from personality disorders due to untreated or undiagnosed trauma or neglect. All right, married men, I call this, grow up from little boys and become men matching their physical age. They look in the mirror and own what is ugly about themselves. They move from the zero to the hero, I call that. They work the steps and finish them. Behaviors believable and measurable, and new behaviors, as well as being able to stay clean from acting out as evidenced with a polygraph test or a series of tests. They are no longer protecting the addiction. They stop blaming and playing the role of the victim. They stop acting in with avoidant, dismissive, anorexic behaviors, and they pursue, provide, and protect their partner. So dealing with resistance, continue here. I call this defense versus offensive recovery. Okay, so defense is having a shield and no sword. Okay, and I always say offense generally scores points, wins games. So in war, you want to be on offense, not defense, especially in military. You want to not have to protect air, land, and sea. You want to be on the attack. Okay. It takes a lot more money and resources to be on defense and prepare a sea, land, air attack than to go attack. Okay. In sports, offense is generally, again, score the points and win the games. Offense is fun. Defense is about don't. So the shield is don't drink or get drunk, don't view porn, don't cheat on your partner, don't disappoint them, don't screw up, shut down and remain silent. So what you focus on subconsciously when you use the word don't, your subconscious only hears do. Okay. So don't get drunk, get drunk. Don't view porn, view porn. So what you resist persists, so to speak. Okay. It is true at the quantum level. So offensive recovery, or using your sword, I call this. So this last one I forgot to mention is walking on eggshells. Okay, I call this walking on eggshells with the men. How do I not tick her off today? Okay, how do I not screw up? Okay, and what do? They screw up. They tick her off. Okay, within reason, right? Okay, dealing with resistance. So offensive recovery is about doing, do or doing. So pursue your partner, fight for, use your sword. Swords, pick up your sword, hiding, stop hiding behind your shield. Initiate intimacy and conversation. Share your journey with others. Do recovery because you want to. Okay. So what am I fighting for versus what am I fighting against? Okay. Swords can do two things. They can protect or do harm. We want to protect, fight for. So other forms of resistance I have seen over the years and you need to be aware of is mood disorders. So mood disorders, I covered this in things like depression and anxiety are the most common. Okay. Bipolar disorder is another one. We talked about cyclothymic. I have more up days than down. Dysthymic, I have more down days than up, but those peaks and valleys are about 7, 10, 14 days apart. Okay. And those dips or those jumps up are when the relapse or the use of drugs or alcohol or sex are more likely to happen. Personality disorders, the biggest ones in our field that we'll see with couples is narcissism and borderline disorders. Really, they're the same thing. The same coin, two different sides. Okay. And it's a myth that, oh, women are borderlines, men are narcissists. Not necessarily. Okay. Men can be borderlines, women can be narcissists. Okay. And they're just as hurtful, just as painful, just as difficult to deal with. Okay. I'm a big fan of Sam Vaknin. Check his YouTube material out. Really good stuff. I have his book here on my side. It's called, what is that one called? The Malignant Self-Love. Also him, that's how I found Richard Grannon. Him and Sam do a lot of YouTube videos. They have some really good stuff um, on YouTube and their websites. So it's important to know this stuff, understand, and always look through the lens. Could this be going on? Is this going on? Let me read up on that. I'm seeing this. What's this called? Okay, big T and little T traumas. Blogged about that. Check that out. Big T's are your more obvious ones: physical, emotional, sexual abuse. Okay, military, service, natural disasters. Little T traumas are more or less shame-based stuff in parenting. There's a blog on shame-based parenting and narcissistic parents. So read up on that. Continue to be aware of your thoughts, feelings, and intuition as you work with your clients. Think outside the box, do things different and sometimes spontaneous. Listen to your intuition, your higher power, higher self, God, whatever you want to call it. Be spontaneous sometimes. So when you get your best results helping somebody, revisit your treatment plan and be okay with changing the treatment plan. Okay. It's okay to change it. All right. Continuing to deal with resistance, clients still using drugs or alcohol. You got to ask. I've been working with this client for weeks, months, years. Reassess. The addict mind, you've not asked, therefore it must not be important. Okay. Or we assume they're not using. Okay. Oftentimes, with clients that do not meet criteria for mood or personality disorders and the chaos continues, old habits are returning, the heavy or casual use of drugs or alcohol may need to be addressed and readdressed. Go to a substance abuse meeting, AA, NA, okay? Al-Anon, ACOA, Adult Children of Alcoholics. I'm a big fan of these groups. Okay, clients are using less of the substance, but still using. Or the client or clients still therefore not sober and still numbing. I've worked with clients for years in my groups. Okay, they still think they can drink, and finally they get it. But it takes sometimes out of house separation and intervention, and they finally get it. And you realize through their intensive work or years of therapy with you or sitting in your groups, they've never really truly been sober. They've always been numbed up or numbed out. Yeah, they're not acting out with sex and addiction or pornography or infidelity, but they haven't been sober chemically. Okay, big problem. So recommending attending AA, NA, ACOA, Al-Anon again. And then dealing with our own resistance, you and me as helpers, as therapists, psychologists, coaches, lay people, leaders, group leaders. Continue to learn, never stop learning. Okay. Like my new addiction is just learning. The more I learn, the more I realize I got more to learn. I don't know much at all, actually. Hold your beliefs in training and what you think you know loosely, because it will change. Even the recording of these videos, I may not agree with some of the things I'm sharing in these videos a year, a week, 2 years, 10 years from now. Okay, and that's okay. Some of the stuff I've written, it's 10, 12 years old already. Don't totally agree with all of it anymore. Changed it, tweaked it. It's a practice. My practice is a practice. I'm practicing, always changing. Because there they are. They may change tomorrow. They keep you stuck, prevent you from wanting to learn more. This is what I believe. And in the middle of the word belief, again, is the word lie, L-I-E. And I kind of lightly use that word now. It's more of what I know. I want to know what is true. Okay. I'm in wanting to know, because beliefs anymore hold them pretty loosely. Therefore, they prevent you from going and improving. So once you believe that belief, you quit wanting to learn more. You just settle on, okay, that's what I know. All other information is irrelevant. I'm shut down, head down, ears plugged, eyes closed, and now I'm not growing. Okay, so never stop learning. Hold your beliefs loosely because they will be challenged, they will be changed, and you're going to go in those cognitive dissonant moments. Okay, and I have when I first started coming out of my own Stockholm syndrome stuff. Again, that's just beliefs you hold to be true. We all suffer Stockholm syndrome, and I then um, am much freer, much more eager to learn. And I have Stockholm moments daily. And when they start, they're really big and impactful and can really shake you up, and they cause a lot of anxiety and depression. Um, but I don't know if they get fewer, they get more, but less, you get used to it, I guess I'll say. And they're not as earth shattering anymore because now you're starting to get the hang of it. Oh, that's another one. Okay, I'll let that go. Moving on. All right, so let's talk about marketing. The best to market your practice, your work. The best marketing always is word of mouth. Take care of the clients you have. Highly recommend that. High standards of customer service. We try to return calls, emails within 24 hours, and even less within the hour. Okay, people are in pain and they want to hear back from you. Your silence is a message to them that you don't care. Like when you call somebody for work on your house, or hey, I need a plumber, roof fixed, whatever. And I call 3, 4, 5 different places. People don't call me back. I assume, they don't need the work. I'm not important to them. You assume the worst, right? Same with this. Okay. Build your brand, website, funnels, channels, specialize in your passion. I think specialty is the key. Build your email list, use your email list, and communicate often with good information and content. Close the sale and convert. That's the important piece. Understand it's about creating value, not the excuse that I can't afford it. Response times to calls, emails, social media. Okay. Maintain boundaries around your personal cell number, text, social media. Now, for me, I don't give out my cell number. Okay. Some of you, that's all you have. We have other lines. Use Google, use landline, whatever, but I do not text. Not into text therapy, not a big fan of that at all. I know there's a lot of mental health services out there doing it. I speak from experience, not, in my opinion, a wise way to do therapy or effective. Maybe it's what's going to be, I don't know, but I am not a big fan of text therapy at all. But you do what's wise for you. Social media, again, maintain boundaries around all these things. I don't friends my clients. No, 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 no. Some of you may have done that. Don't beat yourself up. You may want to unfriend, stop giving out your number. I always practice in the light of what does this look like if I was supposed to stand in front of a judge? Okay. In context or out of context, it doesn't matter. Okay. When you're meeting with a client or a text, or why do they have my personal number? Okay. What would this look like in front of a judge? That's how I'm always thinking. Okay. What would this look like in front of a judge? Simply from what I say. If I was to hug this person of the same gender, opposite gender, and somebody was to walk in on that out of context, what would that look like? Be above reproach. Okay. Keep a high standard. Okay. All right, where was I here? Next one. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. And the other thing with marketing and getting the close is make a deadline. Um, give your client, a day or two or a week to get back to you. Follow up with email or a phone call, but always have a deadline. That's how business plans work. That's how we need to make our plans with our clients, their recovery plans. We'll talk about more of that in level 3, and getting people to commit because they have value and they are worthy to do this work. So level 3 is level 3 training for you. Okay. What will you get out of it? What are we going to cover? Well, finally, we're going to integrate levels 1, 2, and 3. Okay, all that's going to come help us in level 3. I'm going to show you how to do anger work and forgiveness work with your clients, how to help clients implement and practice boundaries. I'm going to introduce you to our 5-10 day intensive, give you access behind the curtain, behind the closed door of my office. Polygraph prep, okay, and the process step by step. Okay. We talked a little bit about disclosure process in this level, but now we're going to talk about the polygraph prep process, questions we use. That'll all be available in handouts and PDFs as well. Recovery planning with your clients, rules for sex, okay, troubleshooting skills, supervision with us, and coaching opportunities. And there'll probably be a level 4, in which is going to be more hands-on, one-on-one training. Okay, once you get through all 3 levels and have passed again each level with our nothing too difficult-ish exams, if you will, that show that you are doing the work, nothing too crazy for a passing score. So appreciate you investing in you and in us. Very excited and getting this out, and hopefully I know you're learning things. Looking to see you and working with you, learning about you in level 3. You know a lot about me, but at this point I probably don't know much about you yet. So I'm looking forward to that and building our community and tribe and getting this information out. All right. Until next time, say bye for now.